Hello everyone, thanks so much for tuning in, great to see you. I want to talk today about a thought that I've had on my mind for a while that I've been planning to make a video about, but that I'm only getting around to make a video about now. Before I get into it, I want to talk about some things that I'm going to be doing moving forward with this channel. First, this is going to be cross-posted on TikTok. Second, you can find my most recent links to all my social media in the description. I'm probably not going to preface every single video with this, but trying to get more organized with these things, so I want to signpost where necessary for both your convenience and mine, so I'm not repeating myself. Okay, now with all that out of the way, this signposting will actually be relevant to what I want to talk about. Keep that in mind as I get into it. The idea that I've had has been circling around this phrase that's been itself circling around my mind, and it's the idea that the internet can be considered as an appendage. Now, just dwelling on this thought, there's something a bit counterintuitive about it, because you think of appendage as something physical. And so what's most immediately the appendage is the phone that I'm filming on right now, this microphone, these glasses, etc., etc. These are all artificial appendages that we attach to our bodies. And in a mediated sense, the internet is only, through those things. It's only through this iPhone, through the light. More or less, there are degrees of proximity here, of course. The most immediate thing that mediates the internet is all the cabling, and then the router, and then finally this phone, which is connected to the Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth. But all this is only possible because of electrical signals, everything we don't see that's mediated by the filaments and the cables. At the same time as we have all these physical mediations that we are in touch with our hands, with our eyes, with our bodily senses, there are several other things that these carry out. And so what I want to say is something like the internet itself is what we might call an assemblage of all those things. This is a technical term that is on my mind right now because I'm reading about it for my master's thesis. It comes from Deleuze and Guattari. And the gist of it is, what we talk about when we say anything is not simply the most obvious thing that we're talking about. It's a combination of all other things at the same time, and the internet is a great example of this, because it's not only the web page, but all the labor that went into the web page. And anyway, this is a long, rambling way of saying what we're talking about here is both physical and not. And so if we think of the internet as an appendage, the counterintuitive piece of it is, well, it seems to be mostly not physical. It seems to be that what is physical is mostly not the internet. And so in this way, again, it strikes the mind as something that's foreign, because, again, the internet is this thing external to us. What we have in our hands is just the phone that connects to it. And I want to say no. I don't really like this view, because we could take the same view with respect to language. We connect to language, you might say, if we want to analogize this view to language itself. We enter into language and speak it on that view. And I don't buy that. We know with somebody like Chomsky that language is something that is absolutely indelible. You can't really think at all without it. We know from examples of feral children that those who are raised outside of society are cognitively deficient. Language is something that's a part of us. Now, the appendage is perhaps the script that we use to write in. But then it's not attached to us, per se. It is something that we participate in while we attach language to it. And I think we could say, on this view, something similar about the internet. It's not something that we connect to. It's not something that our devices connect to. It's something that we participate in. I want to think of it as an extension of all possible communication, not communication systems, because these are, in a totally objective sense, physical, material, etc. That is, at least their mediators are. But what it is we're doing when we do it is a kind of action, a kind of communal action, communal activity. And this is not simply something we attach ourselves to, it's something that we are in, and that at the same time is in us, because we are the vectors of it, we are the carriers, you might say. And so in this way, I think it's better to consider communication in a more biological, disease-oriented model. That's the best thing I could compare it to. That's not to say that it has negative connotations, but this is something totally different from something that is connected into. We carry it, we don't connect to it. So insofar as it is an appendage, is something that is a part of us. And that's what I really want to emphasize. Now, the upshot of this difference of view is that if we consider it as such, then what I'm doing right now is not an artificial imposition. That's to say, it's really, really easy to think that this is a 21st century dystopian, self-absorbed such and such. But the less easy view, and the view that I'm trying to put forward here, is that this is an outgrowth and an extension of a process that we're always already participating in, namely the communication process. And so these devices, via the internet, are also part of that process. That is, the whole idea of telecommunication is something that only exists because we want to be in touch with each other. If we didn't want to be in touch with each other, these devices wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have made them up. We wouldn't have invented them. We wouldn't have created the mathematics necessary to transcode audio into ones and zeros and so on and so forth. And so insofar as all this is already part of the process, these are devices that we use to enter into the process that's already a part of us. That is the view I want to take. Now, when you look at things in this way, you start to say, well, this is something we're already always doing. What does this new thing, this new appendage, allow us to do that we couldn't do before? Plato, in the Phaedrus, remarks that writing diminished the memories of the Egyptians because they didn't have to remember things anymore. They could just write it down. And there have been similar critiques levied since the advent of the internet. You could just beam information into your head eventually. Why even go to school? And I think that's an extreme, you might say, reactionary view, and I don't want to take that one. But what I do want to say is that when a new technology is in place that is a part of and a furtherance of an already existing process, there's new opportunities that you can take to do new things that you couldn't have done before. I hear a lot of people talk about the internet and doing this as if it's just entertainment, just a way to make money. I don't buy that. Why? Because it's a part of this older view that I'm trying to react against. That what this is just something you attach to yourself. I don't think that's right. What it is something we enter into because it's already a part of us. And that's the communication process. And so if this offers a new means of communication, and if this offers us something new that's a part of a process that we are already participating in, but allows us to be in that process, a way that we couldn't have been in before, then I think we have to seize that opportunity. I do hope this has come across relatively clearly. I didn't get to it quite as to the point as I wish I would have. What I want to say is that this is just a reframing of things. I want to think of what we're doing in the best possible way. And I think to do that is to ask, well, how can this help me be more fully myself? And then to answer that question is to say, it allows me to be in touch with other people. And then it's to say that it is just this that has allowed me to do it. It's the technology which has extended the process. I hope you found this insightful. Let me know what you think about it. Really tried to outline the key points beforehand, but I kind of, again, got lost in my words as I always do. Thank you for watching. I wanted to say somebody remarked that they liked this idea of the microphone on my glasses. I actually got this idea from somebody else, but I liked it so much that I thought I'd use it. So thanks for noticing, because I also really like it, because I don't have to hold shit in my hands. I can just put it on my glasses. Yeah, thanks so much. A lot of things coming. I think you're really going to like it. Have a good day, and thanks again for watching.